I think we're good to get started. Good morning, everyone. I am Ben Frisch, one of your Simcoe South Georgian Bay Digital Service Squad representatives, and welcome to Digital Main Street for Vendors. This webinar is brought to you by your local Digital Service Squad. The Digital Main Street program is brought to you by FedDev Ontario, the province of Ontario, Ontario BIA Association, along with the Toronto Association of BIAs. Here in Simcoe County, the program is managed by the South Georgian Bay Small Business Enterprise Center, with additional support from the County of Simcoe, the Town of Collingwood, and the Town of the Blue Mountains. So we're grateful for all their support making this possible. And if you haven't met with your digital service squad, feel free. You can always connect with us, even as vendors, to answer any questions you might have about the program. And we will, Sam will put the link to our calendar in the chat box. If you got a second there, Sam, that'd be awesome. And Digital Main Street and Beyond is a program that kind of expanded the service area for us, specifically in the South Georgian Bay area, or excuse me, Simcoe County, beyond just the downtown Main Street businesses. So we're really excited to be here today talking about Digital Main Street for vendors. We are always like the way the program works, and we'll get into that in more detail, but really it's about empowering business owners to be more informed, be more active in their digital marketing. And that really means good things for digital marketing vendors. The program is meant to provide some funding for businesses, specifically downtown Main Street businesses, but they can and have to spend it with someone. And, we really encourage them to spend it locally with digital marketing vendors that they can meet with, people they trust and that are going to do a great job. So, we're always looking to meet those digital vendors in our area, learn more about what you do, and learn how we can, help to refer those grant recipients to the amazing community we have here of digital marketing vendors. And so just want to give you an overview of the Digital Main Street program and how it can help your clients help you in a way. Because the way it works is that the main program that we're going to talk about is the Digital Transformation Grant. And so that's a $2,500 grant that downtown Main Street businesses can apply for to spend, and it has to be spent on their digital marketing. So that can include anything from website changes, a brand new website. It can include content creation, social media management, consultant to put together campaigns for the businesses. There's a whole host of things, and the eligibility criteria is available on the Digital Main Street website. And so when it comes to leveraging the program, that's what we want to kind of get into first. There is a vendor directory, so we'll talk about that a little bit at the end as well, to show you how you can kind of create a directory on the Digital Main Street website. Just give yourself more backlinks, more exposure, and something that we can even send to prospective clients. So when you're approaching maybe existing clients or potential clients for your business and promoting the program, the way it works is that, just going back actually, businesses can register on the website for free at digitalmainstreet.ca. And what it's going to do is they're going to create or go through a digital assessment process that is really just about assessing their digital marketing strengths and weaknesses. And again, the whole program is about really empowering those business owners so that they can make better choices. They can, be more active in their digital marketing. So this is just kind of a way to start getting their feet wet in that space to understand, what am I really missing? Where are areas that I could start learning more about? There's a huge training program, and actually they've revised it now where the previous grant application had about 10 hours of video content that businesses had to get through in order to apply. But they've cut that down now to about 2.5 hours of video content. So it's, it's less information, but it's easier for them to get through. And when it comes to eligibility criteria for the grant, the businesses must be in the easiest way to describe it is they have to be in a C1 zoning. Usually if a business is in the BIA, that's a good indication that they're in an eligible area. It's not always the case though. What they really look for is that C1 zoning. So meaning they're in the commercial core of the business or of the community that they're in. And that goes for anywhere in Ontario, actually. So even if you're outside of the Simcoe South Georgian Bay area, but in, Barrie, maybe, just need to have that C1 zoning, and you could be eligible, or the business could be eligible to apply for the grant. There's a couple other eligibility criteria. They really want to support independent businesses with more of like a bricks and mortar location. So typically, they have to have an office or a retail shop with permanence. It is not eligible for not-for-profits, for franchises, or home-based or even online-only businesses. So just some things to keep in mind. The goal here is really to promote or support those downtown Main Street businesses operating with, bricks and clicks, as they say. So I might just jump over to the digital. I'm going to jump over to Digital Main Street website, give you a little bit more insight into the process here. Give me 1 second. Hide that. Okay. Close all my tabs out so that it's a little less cluttered. And here we go. So in order for a business to get started, they would just need to sign up right here and sign up as a Main Street business. And then you can see here, so for digital vendors, this is where you can sign up as a vendor to create a listing within the digital Main Street website. So we'll show you here the vendor directory, where you can see these are all across Ontario digital marketing vendors that have added themselves to the list, and they're in numeric alphabetical order, and there are quite a few. But as I said, what we're looking for is a way to connect with local digital marketing vendors to help promote you among our clients as we work through the digital marketing, the digital transformation grants, and as they, ask questions like, who do you know that does websites? We want to be able to give them, 3 or 4 names of different companies that we know that do a great job. And I know those companies are around, and we're always looking to connect with more to help out the local business community. So I'm going to ask Sam jump in, maybe talk a little bit about the grant eligible expenses.
So yeah, basically people can spend it on pretty much anything that's an online marketing tool. So it could be websites, like they could be spending money on things like HubSpot or Hootsuite, some software stuff. But for you guys as digital vendors, you kind of want to be selling it as whatever your product is that they need, kind of thing. So maybe you're a photographer. If you're doing images that they're going to be putting online or on social media, then all of that's covered. So, they get up to $2,500 with the grant. And I mean, I presume, I'm not sure, Ben, if anybody's asked for less than that, but
No.
basically they can ask for 2,500. It doesn't change any eligibility if they're asking for 800 or 2,500. So I was actually doing this last year as a vendor for people before I got involved working for Digital Main Street directly. And so I was shooting video for people, and that would go on their website or their social media. And I did some stills as well. And it's just kind of about getting your clients, whoever you know that's eligible. If you've got a mate that runs a cafe, they're a perfect person that's probably going to benefit from this. So whatever it is you guys are, whatever wares you're selling, as long as they're an online marketing tool of some kind, it could be social media hosting. There's a whole gamut of potential options. It's just a case of putting yourself in at the forefront and saying, hey, I can do this, and here's a grant that you can get to pay me, so it doesn't have to come out of your own pocket.
Yeah, that's really the point of our presentation, right? Is to give you that information so that you can take that to clients or potential clients to say, hey, there's this grant. It can help you pay for your services. So, do we have any questions around the grant or that process? There is the Q&A feature within the webinar here, so feel free to drop any questions into the chat or the Q&A there.
And when you are telling your clients to sign up for this, it's useful to kind of explain how easy the process is to get $2,500. Because I know I've heard some people have heard it's like, oh, it's 25 hours of videos you have to watch, and it's all it basically is you spend an hour in total on forms, I would say, and you do a 3-hour training program, which it's not like homework. It's a very useful training program for your clients. It's it basically covers the sort of how-tos and best practices of things like social marketing and what you need to have on your website, and all things that are useful rather than just a waste of time. And they're getting paid $2,500 for it.
That's right. And I would say too, that it's important. Oh, we have a question. Touched on this briefly, but if a client has a small office, say for construction, would they be a good fit for this grant, or is it geared mostly toward businesses with storefronts? Good question. So there's maybe a couple eligibility criteria that they might run into. so again, yeah, they need to be in the C1 zoning. So if their office is in that sort of downtown, then that would be fine. The other thing though is 0 to 10, 1 to 10 employees is the max for eligibility, or up to 25 if you're a restaurant or bar. So again, they're focused on the smaller independent businesses. So if it's a big construction company with lots of crew, then they might not be eligible. But if they're a small kind of independent contractor construction company, then they might still be eligible. Yeah. We've got another one from Cindy. Can vendors take this training program just to familiarize ourselves with it in order to help potential clients? Yeah, absolutely. So the sign up is completely free. There is an eligibility criteria form that needs to be filled out, but by filling it out with incorrect information will not prevent you from gaining access to the training. It will just tell you you're not eligible for the grant, but you can still access the training. And yeah, great question, because there is like tons of information there and lots of resources. So definitely feel free to tap into it if you like. How do we determine to which vendors we recommend? How have you decided on referrals to date? Yeah, I mean, it's nothing terribly formal in terms of how that process works. That's why because we have a team of about 5 people, and a lot of times, it might be someone that other clients have worked with that we know about through the program. It always kind of depends on what the client is looking for specifically, and if we think they might be a good fit. To be honest, a lot of clients do come to us with their own vendors in mind. But whenever we get those questions, we try to at least give them 3 companies that we know of that could provide a similar service. So I hope that answers your question.
And the beauty of bringing this to your clients is, you can say to them, I know of this grant that you can get very easily. And it seems like here's what might be missing from your website that I could do for you with the grant. So rather than approaching people and saying, hey, there's a grant, go and use anybody for it, you're selling yourself and your own services, so that they spend it with you.
Yeah, and as Abigail asks, as a digital vendor, are we allowed to educate our followers about this grant via social media? Absolutely. You're more than welcome to share about it, share about that eligibility criteria, whatever you want. I mean, it's a public program. It's free to apply. So yeah, it's fair game. Have fun with it, I'd say.
And don't be afraid to I've put our contact details in the chat window. If you have questions or your clients have questions, feel free to just tell them, here's the people that you need to contact to find out your eligibility rules and all that sort of stuff. And the other thing is as well that there are other programs that we run that they would benefit from, which isn't necessarily giving out money, but we can audit their website even if they're not eligible. So with that kind of hookup that you've provided them, the money that they've saved on paying somebody to do a website audit, they could be using on your services.
Yeah, and I would say too, further to the question about going through to just understand the the training that's available, or to even, you know, take those courses, you're even, you know, welcome to go through the whole process. And again, you know, you won't qualify as a digital marketing vendor, but getting a sense of how that program works will really give you, you know, the ability to pitch it that much stronger to potential clients, or, you know, clients who could qualify. Oh, we got a couple.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm missing. There's a Q&A section, and there's a chat box. So I think I'm missing. I've missed a few of the chat questions. So Kelly asks, I already registered and did the legwork to set up as a vendor, and yet it isn't listed on the site. I am redoing it now. Is there criteria we have to meet to be on the site? They do vet those listings, and sometimes like they might get missed. Like I've had a few vendors reach out in the past, and we just send a quick note to the head office to say, you know, what's going on with this listing, and we usually get a note back to say, you know, oh, it just maybe hadn't been reviewed yet, and they'll get it posted in the next couple of days. So yeah, if you do create a listing and it hasn't shown up in a few weeks or so, definitely reach out. We can see what we can do about getting it online. And then Christina asks, as a vendor, are there assets we can download, access to promote the program and let clients know we are a vendor? Good question. Well, I mean, you can send people directly to your listing, as well as, I don't know if there's any actual resources for that. I think the best thing to do would be, you know, as the other question, you know, pointed out, like sharing it on social media, I think would be, you know, a big bonus to your business by sharing that, you know, you're aware of this program and that you can help people get through it if they have questions, or if they, you know, if they want to use your services as part of the grant. Oh, I was going to say too, we also have something that might also be helpful, is some video content. There is a video on how to apply, as well as the location eligibility. So they really kind of break those down in lots of detail. So that would be really good resources you could send to clients or potential clients to really help explain the whole program and whether or not they're eligible and how easy it is to claim a grant. So I'm going to try and pull those up and drop the links in the chat in 1 second. Is there anything else, Sam, that you think that we might have missed? I think we've answered all the questions so far.
No, I think that's certainly more questions than I had when I was first signing up as a vendor last year. But I found it, you know, a good little revenue stream. People are getting money for free, and they're spending it on your product. So it's been great.
Sweet. So here is the link. And if anyone's watching this on YouTube, I will drop the link in the description of the video, because we are recording these for our Small Business Enterprise Center YouTube channel. And there's the link for the how to apply video. And then we're also going to post the eligibility criteria. What is a main street? So those are two really great videos that help to explain the program, how to apply, and the eligibility location, specifically that component, because that one tends to get the most questions. But I think, yeah, the C1 zoning is really the easiest way to define that. And it's usually a really easy thing to find out. I mean, you have to do a little bit of digging, you know, searching for those municipal maps, but they are usually readily available and pretty easy to find with a quick Google search. But then you got to kind of just dig in and see where that business is, and is it a C1 zoning? And that's really what you're looking for mostly.
And generally, business owners know, like if you're speaking to the owner, they know if they're paying C1 taxes or a different kind of tax. So it's best to check with them.
True. Although we do get a lot of questions from business owners, am I in the eligible location? But yeah, and we're always around, happy to help to, you know, determine that eligibility so that, you know, hopefully we can let you know whether or not you would be eligible before going through the process. But again, the training is pretty valuable and not a burden necessarily or a barrier. And I think that is about it. As I mentioned, you know, we don't necessarily need the whole hour here. If there's any other questions, feel free to drop them in the Q&A or the chat. Oh, I sent the links to all the panelists. There you go. Sam sent it. Yes. Thank you so much. Great. So yeah, just to wrap up, feel free to reach out at any time. We are always around, or we will be around until 2021. And we are always eager to connect and help you guys out, determine that eligibility to, you know, help your clients through the process, and get everyone, you know, marketing better, stronger, faster with their digital marketing. Anything we can do, we're around. So don't be a stranger. Thanks everyone for joining us this morning. And just a reminder too, we've got more webinars coming up every Wednesday at 10 a.m. You can find the full calendar of events at our either at our Facebook page for the Small Business Enterprise Center or the enterprisecenter.ca. You can find all those events for the next couple of months. There's quite a few that will be covering a lot of different topics of marketing and yeah, everything digital marketing over the next couple of months. So be sure to check that out. And thanks again for joining us. Have a great day, everyone. And thanks to Sam for joining us and our other DSS on the call. I saw you guys there. Thanks for joining. Have a great day, everyone. Take care.